Greetings, artists. This is Mr. Jankard here again. We are into our second element of art this week, which is shape. Now, last week we talked about, 2 weeks ago, we talked about line. Line is basically a point moving through space. You put your pencil, your pen, your paintbrush down, and you start moving it, and it creates a line. Now, shape is very different than line. Shape is an element of art that is describes an enclosed space. So if you had, let's use this paper clip. So I'm going to unfold this paper clip here. So if this were laying on your paper like this, can you see it? There we go. If it was like this, then this is a line, right? Because it's just moving around the outside. It's not closed. But if I take this and I make the ends touch, which is a lot harder than it seems because it's rubbery there, that looks pretty close. Now it becomes a shape because it's enclosed. That's what enclosed means. It's one piece. So an enclosed space, it's defined by other elements of art like line. We used a line, right, to create this. Or it could be color. If you look at the image behind me here, you can see that, like, for instance, his arm right here, this kind of blocky C shape, is just color. It's just black. There's not, it's a very, you could say it's a very thick line. Or his hat here is a shape. I guess it's a hat. I don't know what it is. But it's a shape right there. You also see, let's see, how about the dog's head back here in the back? It's kind of a one shape, right? It's just colors. It can also be texture. Look at his beard over here. It creates kind of this rectangle shape. And it only has two dimensions. It's flat. It only has height and width. That's it. So you think of your Saturday morning cartoons. Most of those are two-dimensional. Especially when I was a kid, they were all two-dimensional. But you guys get some CGI stuff that's actually 3D. But like Bugs Bunny, for instance, if you ever watched the old Looney Tunes, there's actually a newer version of Looney Tunes. They are two-dimensional. So this is Pablo Picasso's work of art right here. It's called The Three Musicians. Now, Picasso was what's called a cubist, and what a cubist did was they looked at the same scene from many different angles, and they tried, rather than trying to draw it from one perspective, they tried to incorporate all those different perspectives into one drawing. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you do that. I've never sat under a cubist artist to understand how you put those things together. I've never studied it. Honestly, it's not my favorite type of work. This one, Picasso's, is kind of an exception for me, mostly because of the colors and the subject matter. So you may or may not like that. Here's a couple more examples of artworks that use shape. Andy Warhol is the guy that, if you've seen a picture of Marilyn Monroe on someone's shirt, typically that image of Marilyn Monroe is the one that Andy Warhol used, where there were 4 different pictures of Marilyn and each of her faces were colored a little bit differently. He used prints. That was kind of his thing, and so you can see here he's reprinted these 4 flowers over and over again. And the flowers create shapes. The grass in the background creates shapes. Wassily Kandinsky, you'll see him come up again this week in our warm-ups. This is a very geometric design. He was very well known for that. So let's talk about the different types of shapes. You've got 2 types. There's geometric shapes that are named, they're measured, they're mechanical, and they have regular edges. So circles, squares, triangles, rhombuses, straight lines, arcs, all of those type of things. Semicircles are all geometric shapes, where there's also organic shapes. Organic shapes are more free form, they're flowing, they're what you would see in nature when you go up to the beach and you pick up a seashell, that is an organic shape. Your head is an organic shape. It's free formed. There's no super sharp edges. Animals, think of living things. That's what organic shapes are. So our shape lesson is that simple. If we go back here, I wanted to point out to you that your sketchbook theme for this week is going to be fast. Now, that's very general, and I make them general on purpose because I want you to be creative. So what do you think of when you think of fast? I'm not going to give you any ideas. If you're struggling to think of ideas, go on to Google and just type in fast and see what comes up. I'll just go to the images and look at all the different images of fast. There are definite things I think of when I hear the word fast, and I can pick out one really quick that I'd like to draw. So figure out something that's fast. Don't forget, on the front of your sketchbook, you need to write shape, an element of art that describes an enclosed space defined by other elements such as line, color, and texture, and has two dimensions, height and width. That has to be on the front of your sketchbook drawing this week, or you will not get full credit. Also, don't forget that your sketchbook has to be a full page, has to show color or shading, or both. So that's all I got for you about shape. You'll see it pop up all week in your warm-ups. Thanks, guys.